Hello, and welcome to a puzzle review by Canadian Puzzle. That's me. In this series, I'll be reviewing puzzle brands every time I try them for the first time, or if specific brands are requested by people like you. I will never review a brand without trying it. Everything here is my honest opinion, whether the puzzle is given to me for free or if a brand reaches out and specifically requests a review. Everything on here is my personal opinion. I promise not to mislead people in any way. Today you are watching my first review ever, so please bear with me. Please leave a comment letting me know what you think, or if I should be adding or removing any aspects to this review, or if you've tried this puzzle and if you agree or disagree, leave a comment below. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you can see how this review series develops over time, just like everything else on this channel. So which brand has the honor of going first? It is Jigsaw Nation, a puzzle brand based out of India. Now this may seem like an odd choice going first given the Canada focus on this channel, but there is a memorable and notable attachment to this puzzle. In September of 2025, I attended my first World Jigsaw Puzzle Championship in Spain. My Instagram page was about a year old at that point. This YouTube channel had only been putting out videos for about 3 months. While in Spain, a few people from various countries approached me and introduced themselves, saying they recognized me from my various social media pages, which was great, and I can't wait to keep doing that at upcoming international events. But it was on the second to last day of the World Championships where I was approached by a few people. 3 people came up to introduce themselves. Their Instagram handles are The Couple That Puzzles and Playful Pursuits. All from India, and they provided me this puzzle as a gift, saying they had recognized me from my social media pages. It was the first time I had received a gift of any sort from people that followed me through this, or anything related to puzzling, really, that doesn't include friends and family. So it was a big moment for me. I was trying to think of something special to do with this puzzle. It will always have a place in my collection. It's not going to go anywhere. But I wanted to do something else with it. It worked out that I was able to hold off doing the puzzle and have it be my 300th recorded speed puzzle. Make sure you look at my Instagram page for that. But I want to do something else with it as well. And I had the idea of doing these reviews at the time. And I figured, you know what, let's give it a go. This can be the first one. Now, that being said, will this impact my review positively or negatively? No. It will still be as honest a review as possible. So let's get into it. The first impressions of the puzzle started off well. The box is very sturdy, so that's always good if you have a large collection, and things will be sitting on top of each other. Always good to have that. But all the pieces came in a resealable bag. So right away, off to a good start. More companies need to be doing this. However, as I'm flipping the pieces, I do notice right away that these pieces are very light, almost too light. Now, in most cases, this would indicate a low quality piece, so I'm a little bit hesitant to get started. You don't really know the quality of the piece until you start putting things together. But I am pleasantly surprised once I do start puzzling. The piece quality is above average, even though it's very, very light. I could do this puzzle a number of times and not really have to worry about having to do any fixing of pieces. The knobs on the end of each of the pieces they're holding on quite well. So overall quality, really good to start. The piece thickness and the piece size are very similar to Ravensburger, which also makes it a bit confusing as to how these pieces are so light. They are definitely lighter than a Ravensburger piece, even though the size and thickness is essentially the same. I don't know what materials are being used, but it's also good to know that there's no large pieces in the 500 and the 1000 piece categories, so that's always a positive. The box does say that it is made with 90% materials and non-toxic inks, which again is nice to see. If we can use recyclable stuff, that's always good. It's never going to be 100% if you're having to print images and such. So yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Now, like I mentioned, the piece weight is extremely light. This can be a downside if you're trying to go very, very fast. I'll talk about the speed puzzling implications closer to the end of the video. But the piece feel is very nice. It's smooth. The edges aren't sharp for the pieces, which is also great. That's a good bonus for speed puzzling as well. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, light pieces can sometimes also mean a bad piece fits. Now, in this case, absolutely excellent. 5 out of 5 when it comes to piece fit for this puzzle. You can see through the examples on the screen that these pieces fall into place quite easily. So, again, absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 for piece fit. No false fits either. Absolutely not one the entire way through the puzzle. It's worth mentioning briefly, I guess, as well, but again, next to no puzzle dust, so that's always a positive as well. It means that pieces of the pieces aren't falling apart, essentially, is what puzzle dust means. Think about the puzzles that you have a lot of puzzle dust for. How long do those pieces really last over time? Next, we move on to image quality. For the specific puzzle that I'm doing, excellent. I love puzzles with bright, vibrant colors. The sections are very easy to distinguish between them. Now, there's obviously going to be other puzzles in that this brand has, so this might vary a little bit. I'll talk about that in a bit. But what does stand out, I don't see how this would change from puzzle to puzzle within the same brand, is that the colors on the box almost match identically to the actual puzzle itself. In fact, the box is a little bit darker, and usually it's the other way around, where the puzzle is a little bit darker, which makes it a little bit tougher to see. Not in this case, so that's a huge bonus. I prefer, again, the brighter the puzzle in most cases, not all cases, but most cases, it's better for the puzzle to be brighter. Now, the image is a little bit shiny and reflective, but it's matte enough that it doesn't really impact the puzzling experience. If you had a light directly above you, there could be some issues with this. But if you're puzzling in natural light, you're going to be absolutely fine. So I do most of my puzzling not with natural light, mostly artificial, and with a light pretty much above my head. Didn't really have too many issues with that. Again, it helps because each section is so clear on the puzzle. You don't really need to worry about it. If I was doing a section where there was like gradients and such, maybe that would make a difference, but so far, we're okay. Now, part of this channel, yes, it's Canada focused, but I am trying to have a more international approach with it, so I will be looking at brands from all over the world. The home country for this brand, as I mentioned at the very start of the video, is India. I can't speak for how easy it is to get puzzles in India. I don't know if they're available in shops or not, so I have to base this on what my experience is looking at it from an international point of view. So as of right now, the puzzles are only available to me in Canada and various other places around the world through the website. That's the only option. So availability can be a bit of a challenge. There's a couple other issues as well. First, when it comes to pricing, it makes it a little bit more challenging to figure out what it is when it comes to exchange rates and such. In these videos, I'll be basing it on, or comparing prices to what I would normally pay in Canada. Now, Canada's a bit more expensive when it comes to puzzles for some reason. But overall, based on the quality that I've seen with this puzzle and what the website has to offer, the prices seem quite reasonable for Canada. So it works out to about $20 for a 500-piece puzzle, closer to $25 for a 1,000-piece. Again, that's quite reasonable for the overall quality. Price tolerance will vary from country to country. This will be a lot of money for certain countries, but it could be cheaper for others. So grain of salt, piece by piece. So like I said, you can only buy the product online. It's not my preferred way to always get puzzles. I do like a puzzle shop. I do like going in and seeing what I can buy there. You can't, puzzle companies can't sell stuff all over the world, but part of the review, that's what I got to go with. Shipping is reasonable. You do need to have a few puzzles to make it a bit more worth it. Buying a single puzzle is not worth it for shipping from India to Canada. But it makes a minimal difference the more puzzles you add. It's not a set shipping, so that can be difficult depending on where you're ordering from. For instance, one puzzle costs $19 in shipping, so that's essentially a 500 piece puzzle you're paying just for shipping. However, 5 puzzles costs $33 in shipping ish. So it doesn't double or it doesn't increase by $20 for every puzzle that you add on to it. So if you're ordering a bunch or if you're ordering it with people, shipping is not a deal breaker. Now, again, when it comes to availability, I want a small caveat with this is a growing company. So that also needs to be taken into consideration. But a growing company needs to have products to sell and for people to test and experience, or else people won't buy from your company. So out of the 47 puzzles listed when I did my research for this company at the time, only 18 of those 47 puzzles were available to purchase online. Not great. For the 500 piece options, 9 out of the 12 that they offer were available. For the 1,000 piece puzzles, 5 out of the 8 that they have for that category were available. Now, it is a 47 puzzles in total are on the website, again with only 18 being available. 19 of the 47 puzzles, if everything was available, are 500s or 1,000s, with the rest being smaller. So the overall options are not great at the moment. Again, a growing brand, if they're looking to go into a speed puzzling type aspect, things would have to change, of course, but for now, they're getting started. Again, I'll address some of this a little bit later in the video. Now, writing a review takes quite a few hours over the course of a few days to do the research and find out as much about the company as I possibly can to make this as fair and balanced as possible. This includes checking prices, going through their website, and getting as much information as possible. In order to fully see how much it would have cost to ship puzzles to me, like I mentioned before, $19 for one puzzle, $33 for 5 puzzles, I had to enter my shipping information, which required a phone number. That's absolutely normal. There's no account to set up on the website that I could see. So, again, all normal type of stuff. I did not go through with the purchase because this is for research purposes only, and I cleared my cart so nothing's sitting there waiting, because I know that can annoy certain companies. Please don't leave stuff in your cart, it just throws things off. That being said, a few moments later, within half an hour at the most, I received a WhatsApp message from the website, I guess, letting me know that I hadn't checked out yet. I understand it's a marketing technique. Don't do that. If I don't click a box to say I can be especially if I don't go through with the purchase, and I've just entered information into a website, information shouldn't. Don't. Moving on to artists and use of AI, this is becoming a much more talked about topic within the puzzle community, so I figured I would have to include this into these reviews. When I asked individuals what they wanted to see included in a review, this came up probably the most out of anything. Sometimes using AI is very obvious, sometimes it's not. I will never definitively say if AI is being used or not unless I am 100% sure on either direction. I will give my opinion on it, but I will never 100% say yes, it definitely is, or definitely not, unless I absolutely know for sure. When it comes to Jigsaw Nation, I don't believe that AI is being used. The puzzle I did was by the artist Muhammad Sajid. A link to his Instagram page is below, so I know that this individual most likely exists, which is always good to see. If I can find evidence online of the artist, I will enjoy using that brand more. Now, this is a Indian-based company, so they are using local Indian artists. Always good to see that. You start to see that a lot more with various brands, and there's some Canadian brands that use Canadian artists, and there's other brands that use local artists as well to their country. All for that. Great. I was able to find the social media pages for many of their artists quite easily as well. It would have been nice if this information was put onto the back of the boxes. Some companies are doing this, which is nice to see. But don't make extra work. I don't like the extra work. Just show me where the artist is. Let us go and see what else they have to offer. Now, some of the puzzles are not done by a specific artist. They are from a company called JSN Studio, which does not identify specific individuals or how the images are created. This is where some gray area may come in on if it's AI or not. Some of the artists used for the brand are digital artists. People will have opinions on that as well. I have no issues with digital artists at the moment. If it becomes clear that they're using AI with it, then there's a different discussion to be made. But at this point, for the puzzle at least that I did, it does not look like AI was used. From the other images on their website that I can see, it doesn't look like AI is being used either when it comes to the artists. For the JSN Studio ones, I can't say either way if it is or if it isn't. When it comes to range of images, though, let's just assume that all 47 puzzles are available on the website. There is no set style for this brand, which I like. They use a range of artists, so the local Indian artists that are used, they all have a slightly different style. So that's really good to see. When it comes to a brand, it's not just the same thing repeated over and over and over again. There's a whole bunch of different approaches that they're taking. So even though options are limited on the website, there is kind of something for everybody, which is, again, nice to see. Each artist has their own unique style, and even the ones that are produced by the JSN Studio, they're bright, they're colorful, they're fun designs as well. Now, puzzle review wouldn't be complete without a pickup test. I don't just do a single pick up the entire puzzle test to show what happens. We move puzzle pieces frequently throughout, and we move sections of the puzzle throughout our puzzling experience. So, what happened when I tried different ways? The first pickup test is weird shaped sections, where it's not a perfect square or rectangle. It's a section of the puzzle that needs to move. The pieces stay mostly attached. I do need to be careful and distribute the weight evenly. These could come apart fairly easily if I rushed it. But overall, they do stay together if I am careful. Pickup test 2 is a small section. This went better. The more pieces it seems, the easier the pieces will hold. I still need to be a bit careful and put the section down slowly. This feels very, very light. It's very easy to drop, and if I do drop it, these will all come apart. So there is a gentle aspect required here. Pickup test 3 is a large section. This holds together very well. I tried lifting it up by the edge as well as the non-edge to make sure it was the same experience. It was. When I look at the back, you can't really tell on camera, but I can see some pieces are starting to come apart. But because the puzzle nubs are quite sturdy, they are able to keep the puzzle together. So overall, happy with that. And then finally, we have the pickup test number 4, which is the full puzzle. And can the full puzzle be picked up? Yes, it can. And I can turn it as well. Similar to the large section, I do need to keep it fairly straight for the pieces to stay locked. If I bend this in any way, it will all fall apart. But of course it would. Puzzles are meant to be flat. So overall, happy with this. When it comes to moving the puzzle, I'm confident that it is possible. Some caution does need to be taken into consideration. This is a speed puzzle focused channel at the end of the day. There's a lot of puzzling stuff going on here, but what I really want to know when it comes to most brands is, can I speed puzzle with this? Based on the qualities that I mentioned in this video, yes, this could be used as a speed puzzle brand. The vast majority of the images are colorful, bright, and they range in difficulty, which you do want to see from a brand. The pieces are on the lighter side. Now, this is the one downside to whether it could be a speed puzzle or not. And it is a big factor, having pieces this light. Because the pieces are light, they move around quite easily. You do want a little bit of weight when it comes to speed puzzling pieces. Not too much weight, obviously, but a little bit more weight. It just makes it easier to kind of handle and move pieces around. Not the end of the world, but it is something to consider. And while I was able to move different size sections fairly easily, that was with me taking some caution and being somewhat delicate with how I move those pieces. In a speed puzzle competition, you don't have time to be that delicate. You want to be able to pick up and move a section of the puzzle as quickly as possible. And I don't think if you don't remember that you need to be delicate with it, pieces will fall apart if you're moving from section to section. So if you were doing this as a speed puzzle, absolutely fine. Build as much as you can within the puzzle without having to move things around too much. We do forget that sometimes, but overall, it's fine. It's fine. Now, overall, my personal opinion about this brand is generally positive. When it comes to the actual puzzle itself, the image options, the piece quality, all of that things taken in consideration, I'm pretty happy. But let's break this down section by section and give this brand an overall score. Starting off with piece quality, I would give this 4 out of 5 puzzle pieces. It is a little bit on the light side, and if you're moving things a little bit too quickly, there's going to be some issues. I'm lucky that I'm building inside. There's not a lot of distractions and stuff around me. If someone were to move the table or if there is a breeze, I don't know how well those pieces would stay in place. So if I'm thinking about this from a speed puzzling point of view, there could be some issues there. But overall, 4 to 5. Thrilled with that. Hard to get 5 out of 5 when it comes to piece quality. Piece fit, 5 out of 5 puzzle pieces. Easy, done. Absolutely no issues with this. Piece fit also includes false fits, again, which were absolutely none. The pieces come together so easily and they stay together. Great. You know when a piece goes together. Image quality, I went back and forth on between two, but I ended up going with 5 out of 5 puzzle pieces with this. There's no way to never have a reflection of any sort, no matter what brand it is. So I need to set a bar somewhere with this first puzzle review. I'm happy with it, really happy with it. The puzzle image, super clear, colorful. When I look at the other options that are available, they look the same, so 5 out of 5 puzzle pieces. Availability, 3 out of 5 puzzle pieces. It is only the website. There were some options for every piece size on there. So there were 500s available. There's 1,000s available. I'm a 99 or hundreds. I don't know what the other ones were, but availability, I will give 3 out of 5 puzzle pieces. Though it is only through a website, fine. There were a number of puzzles not available, which obviously is going to impact the score. However, that being said, there were 1,000 piece puzzles available. There was 500 piece puzzles. There was 250. There was 100. There was something in all the categories they offer. There was still something available. So that's fine. If as this brand grows and that doesn't change, the score can go down quite quickly. I'm giving a slight benefit of the doubt here. So we'll reflect on this later on, but for now, 3 out of 5 puzzle pieces. Image range, 4 to 5 puzzle pieces. This is different than availability. If this is based on if all the puzzles were available, are we looking at what are the different options when it comes to images? Is there something for everybody? Is it for a very niche group of people? In this case, there is something for everybody. 4 to 5, I think for this is a great start. There's some crossover, I guess, a little bit, but especially when you get to their very, very small puzzles, a lot of them are quite similar-ish, but room to grow for this one. As the company gets bigger, there will be more options. So 4 to 5 puzzle pieces to start. Happy. When it comes to use of artists and AI, again, 4 to 5 puzzle pieces at this one. There is still a little bit of a question mark when it comes to what's being produced by the JSN studio. There's no definitive answer on the website or on the box or anything that AI is not being used. That is an assumption that it is, but if you're using digital artists and you're using stock images and such from those types of companies, then there's always going to be a bit of a question. However, seeing local artists being used, especially from the country that the puzzle is based out of, positives all around for that. So again, 4 to 5 puzzle pieces for the use of artists versus AI. Is this speed puzzle worthy? Out of 5 puzzle pieces, I would give it a 3 for this one. I mentioned why before, but really it comes down to how easily I can move sections of the puzzle from one side to the other. The weight will be a bit of an issue when it comes to speed puzzle competitions. If you have a lot of people in one room doing this, there's people going up and down the rows, there's other people at the table, tables can be bumped, things can happen, and the more other factors you put in, the light pieces I can see being an issue. 3 out of 5 puzzle pieces. And finally, overall enjoyment. Would I do this puzzle again? Would I do other puzzles within this brand? It comes down to yes or no, really, but I would. 100% I would. 5 out of 5 puzzle pieces for this one. Absolutely, I would do. I enjoyed this puzzle a lot. It went by for 1,000 piece. Time was really good for me. Yes, the image was a bit easier, but loved it. Definitely would recommend trying out this brand. Overall enjoyment, great. 5 out of 5. So overall, that's 33 out of 40 puzzle pieces. Now, this is my first review ever, so this is essentially the baseline. If I do another one from this brand, I reserve the right to change my reviews and opinions. But I have a strong suspicion that a score over 30 puzzle pieces will not be easy to get. I already know what the next few brands are coming up in this series. 33 out of 40 I think is going to be a strong opener. There'll be some that are similar. Some might be better. There will definitely be a lot that are worse. And just a reminder that this is a growing brand, so things will change. I did mention they do have the Kickstarter. The link to that is in the description below if you want to help support these growing puzzle companies. And especially if you're based out of India, help make sure that you have the puzzle company from your own country is being developed and grows along with what other countries are doing. So clicked on the link, see what they're trying to raise money for, and hopefully we see more good things from this company in the future. That is it for this review. Let me know in the comments what you think about this brand if you've tried it, or if you want to try it, or if you disagree with me if you have tried it. Who knows? And feel free to also leave a suggestion as to other brands that I may want to try in the future. If there's a brand that you're not quite sure about, if you want to make that purchase, again, let me know in the comments. I can try it out first. I plan on doing one of these every few weeks, so make sure to click subscribe to see if there's a brand you're wondering about, if it makes an appearance on here, or a brand that you requested shows up, and just kind of to see how this review series changes over time. For this series, I will tell you which brands will be coming up next, or at least in the next video, and I can say in review number 2, it will be the Canadian puzzle brand Villager Puzzles. Thank you for watching, and until next time, as always, happy puzzling. Bye.